as usual, for tutorial session, you answer question according to your name, okay?
Okay.
So fast, you know.
Okay.
Okay. Can edit kan? Oh, no, will editing already. First, Kelvin. Oh, hi, Kelvin.
Miss, is mine long enough or is it too short example?
Um, 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 um. Okay, your example is I think it's fine already, but you need to explain this statement. Explain. You give your like your opinion on this statement, then you give the example. So means you relate your example with this mental model explanation. Can you do that?
Oh, can.
Okay. Noel, are you there?
Ah, yes.
I can I take this opportunity to just discuss with you for your submission for your database, the ERD. Can ka?
Oh,
Kaya boleh. You siap already, right? Finish already kan? Yours, your question, okay, okay, already, right? For this,
yeah.
yeah, okay. So, Farah and Kelvin, you can go on with your answer. So you just listen lah, because easier for me to explain what you need to do for your task one for database. You need for database. I've seen your submission. You should be submitting it in Google Docs format. Means you insert your ERD into a Google Docs and then you
Oh,
list out, yeah, you list out the business rules. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, you can unsubmit, right? Still
oh,
you
yeah.
can okay, so you insert into Google Docs. Okay, um, better if it will be better if you use the assignment template and you directly put in inside the assignment template. If you can do that, it would be better.
Oh,
Okay, understand? You can
okay.
understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then another thing for the business rules, it's not enough. It's not enough. So how do you list the business rules? You each table, okay, each table you should have business rules. So you list out number one, like table bus. Okay, for bus, so you put in the business rule, like for example, like 1.0, right? Business rule example lah. Then 1.1 for bus. Table one example, table one bus. So you list out the business rule, like number one, um, one bus can have many schedule. Number two, one bus, and the next business rules that related to that table. Okay, so you should have one or more business rule for each table. So means you list out the business rule for each table. Okay, got it?
Mm, no. Can you repeat again?
Okay. See ya. I share your submission lah. So sorry ya. The
Okay.
rest. Farah and Calvin, you just listen saja lah. Calvin, I think you finished already, right? Calvin, are you finished? No? Yes, no? So you listen je lah. Hold on lah. Okay. Farah masih menjawab. So now I share your submission so that you know what I'm talking about. Submission. Okay. So sorry, I take some of the time for this tutorial session to discuss this because I see you finish already, ba? Okay, so don't want to waste time. I want to discuss this lah with you. Okay, so this is your ERD, right? Uh, okay, this is your ERD. You have how many tables here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 tables. Okay, so usually when you want to list out the business rule, your business rule should be listed according to table. Okay, so like here your business rule, it's very straightforward. I know this one is talking about a membership ada kan membership table. So this one is very simple. I cannot relate this to the tables that you put in your ERP. So what you do, okay, number one. So let's say this one is for example, member table. Okay, number one, table member, release out. Number one, what's the business rule? Number two, what's the business rule? And then number two, ticket table. Example, ticket table. What are the business rules of this ticket table? And then you have membership. What are the business rule for this membership? The business rule is correct already, like something like this, but you need to list it out for the assignment according to table.
Oh,
Okay, got it? You got it? Or you want to
so
need another? Mm-hmm.
the business rule is like other than the relationship between the
No,
people.
it is the relationship, but you list it out according to table. According to table. Hold on, ah.
Oh,
Hold on, ah. Give me a sec. I try to list out for you. I'll show you how to list it out. Okay, kejap ah.
okay.
Noel, your submission, right? The business rule actually you stated the relationship kan?
Oh, yeah.
Relationship. This one actually to explain the ERT, the relationship. The relationship does not represent the business rule. It still represent the business rule, but you need to. The one that I mentioned just now is for you to specifically list out the business rule for each table. Hold on, ah. So you have like bus, a schedule. So for schedule, sekejap mana first ni? Hold on, ah. Okay. So for ticket, total payment satu saja. Payment is only one part. Farah, let me know if you finish, yeah.
Oh, I think I just listen first lah.
Okay, can lah. Since all of you in one group kan.
Yes.
Important but this one database database it's I would say it heavy subject kan, so I really want to help you to like to get good marks for this, so that's why I need to tell you what we need to do. Okay. Okay. So business rule, like for membership, can you share? Okay. So let's say okay ticket. Sorry, yeah. For table ticket. So the business rule that you can get from here is you can list out the formula for your total payment. Okay, your total payment. Um, how to explain this? This one lah, membership lah. Okay, so membership. I can see you have discount rate here. So for the business rule, like the table for the membership, you list out the business rule like number one. How do you define discount rate for this membership table? Okay, so if the member, example lah, if the member is like if the member is a member, if the member bought 2 tickets per month, he will get the customer will get this discount rate. Example, okay. So you set the like the scenario when all these fields will be used.
Oh,
Can understand? So, like for the bus kan, the ticket, let's say you have two types of, maybe you have like three types of tickets. Okay, you have economy ticket, premium ticket, right? So if it's economy ticket, how much is it per ticket? For premium ticket, how much is it for per ticket? Example, okay. So, like for discount, the discount also, you need to list out the discount. You list out the what are the rules for the customer to get the discount. So only customer who is a member will get the discount, for example. Okay, so
oh,
that is what we call a business rule. And then what else I can give you some idea. Schedule. So schedule, maybe bus will only the schedule will be referring to the bus availability, something like that. And then the conductor, every bus will have one conductor, example. Okay. And then you try to think of the rules for the table. So it means now your business rule is not the relationship, but you explain what are the rules the the variables that you have in the table. Okay, let me see. Expiry date. So how do you define expiry date for this member? So how do you plan to apply this? What is the story behind this membership expiry date? So how do you define a membership expiry date? Okay, and then the route also, like I mentioned just now. So if the origin is from, let's say, the origin is from KK to Tambunan, for example. So how much is the price? So the destination, if the destination, the origin and destination is 1 kilometer, how much is the price? Okay, so business rules explains, you give information on how you will use the variables in your table. Okay, got it? Do you have the idea?
yeah.
Got it. So you try to give the business rule according to the variables that you have for each table. So means I will see six, seven tables here you have here. So you should have one or two business rule for each, or more for each table. Okay, you try first.
Oh, so need to be more specific lah, the
Yeah,
business rule.
specific. This one is just for you. This one is actually your explanation on the ERD, not the business rule. So this one is just you're talking about one to many, many to many, right? So for this assignment, I want you to explain exactly how will you define each variables that you have in this, not necessarily each, because some might be related, like the name and the email is the personal details, right? So this member table, the member ID will be associated with the name, the email and the phone number of the member.
The
Okay,
business so the business rule is just a condition only
on the table. That you
on each
can.
table, the condition on each
Yeah,
table.
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Ah.
So the current business rule can still keep up.
You can put this under your ERD later on in your Google Docs, right? So you insert this ERD in your Google Docs, and then this one, the business rule, you can put under the ERD diagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or you can also include this in business rule lah. I think this one you put down under the ERD diagram lah, easier for me
Mm,
to see. Okay?
okay.
Nah,
Okay.
lari topik sudah kita ni mata ini. Okay ah. Because I see you why so fast you submit, so I just go check kan, alah, cannot like this. So yeah, I have the chance to talk to you kan, so I take the chance lah. Pero ako sudah siap ka.
No, I was listening your explanation. The business one.
Okay, this one, hold on now. I give you 5 minutes. You answer the last question lah, Farah. The this one no need,
Okay,
don't
okay.
have. So this one you
The
finish.
the
This
C.
one B no need. B no need. You just directly the C.
Okay, okay,
Answer
can.
C. Okay, thank you. 5 minutes ah. Ay, pas screen sini. Noel, sorry. All of you lah. I think better you include in the one that you give your business rule kan. You include in the business rule under the business rule for each table. Okay, you include that
Mm,
there.
okay.
So if like some table might not have the condition like what I mentioned just now, so you just put in the relationship explanation. Okay.
Mm, okay.
Okay, you try first. You try first, then you can let me see first. You can WhatsApp me or you can like screenshot. You WhatsApp me, then I can check for you. Okay, nanti later. Done kan, Vera? Okay. All good.
Yeah, except for the question A, the third one, long
It's
term
okay.
memory.
It's okay. Just leave it in decision. Okay, we will discuss the answer. All answer also included in the we have it. You have the answer in the lecture note also. Okay, so can we start the discussion now? After cukup masa. You all know you have Google Meet session after this, right? You all want to join the back to campus or what?
Oh, I don't know.
You
Eh,
don't know?
I don't know.
Ada I saw at Tayusi punya IG yang ikut Google Meet us like the branch head will have a meet session for uh ask apa tu ask question hold on ah. You don't know? I thought you know. Apa? Back to
Uh,
campus. Are you ready? Like after today or? Eh no, sorry. February 25 next week. I thought today.
That one
Sorry.
compulsory ka?
Um, I see them macam compulsory, but if all students join cannot kau on compulsory. Your attendance is compulsory and skills of skill point will be credited. You check lah UC punya website apa tu IG or Facebook SRC. Ada topik lagi. Okay, back to this tutorial. Okay, okay ah, okay. Can we proceed to discuss this?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I will not require you to read your answer. We'll directly discuss what we have in this tutorial in this Google Docs. Okay. So draw a diagram to illustrate three types of human memory. Okay, three types of human memory. We have discussed the three types of human memory. The sensory memory, we have SM, and then we have the STM, short-term memory, and we have the long-term memory. Okay, so the sensory memory is where we receive the information from our sensory input, like our eyes, our ears, our haptic. Okay, so unintended information, the one that you are not interested in, it will be lost, and the one that you give attention, you will put it in your short-term memory. Okay, and then if you want to learn the information and make it a knowledge to you, you will encode it. You will encode the memory and keep it in your long-term memory. Okay, so later on when you want to access the long-term memory, you will take time to retrieve it because it's some information may be lost over time. So you need time to like to retrieve the information from your long-term memory. And then in order for you to remember the things that you put in your memory, you need to have a rehearsal, or we call it a revision. You need to revise, you need to rehearse so that you can remember the information or the memory, and then you can put it in your long-term memory. So those memory that you don't do revision, you will other information will be lost. Okay, so we have the definition here. Sensory memory uh, stored for a few seconds, stored for a few seconds. So it comes from human five senses, which is the hearing, vision, touch, smell, and taste. So the memory that's stored in this sensory memory is stored only for as long as the sense is being stimulated. Like when you're eating something spicy, right? So the spiciness will only stay when the sense the food is still in your mouth. So if the food already finished in your mouth, the memory will go away. Okay, so that's for sensory memory. They are reprocessed and associated with the memory that can store in your short-term memory. Okay, so maybe like, for example, the new menu from KFC. You eat the KFC like very pedas one, very spicy, and you want to remember that this menu is very spicy. You put in your short-term memory, And then if you decided to like to you need to remember that it's spicy and you cannot buy it next time, so you put it in your long-term memory. Okay, so it depends to the situation, right? And then we have short-term memory defines as capacity for holding a small amount of information where there's no encoding here. So it's able to hold limited information. This one, according to Myler, for a very short period of time. Okay, and then long-term memory, you can add in your explanation for long-term memory here. Okay, so basically I already discussed just now, right? So here, this one is the same table that we have in our lecture notes. So you can refer to that and you can answer here. So the capacity here is limited and unlimited, fast, slow, fast, slow. Okay. And then the next question. So according to this Mr. Myler here, STM can hold between 5 to 9 chunks of piece of information for a very short period of time. So based on Myler's studies on the capacity of STM, comment if on whether it is necessary for a designer to limit the number of items. Is it necessary for the designer to limit a number of items displayed on a menu, a maximum of 9? Okay, due to this. Okay, due to this. So this is opinion. So there's no right or wrong depending on the reason of your answer. So here, Farah give it's necessary. It is necessary. Okay. So this is your opinion, right? So why? Because user with short-term memory. So here your target user is user that has a short-term memory. That's what means here your answer. It's necessary because your target user right now is having no trouble with the short-term memory, maybe short-term memory problem, maybe. Okay, so they will easily forget the items if it's more than 9. So a system with fewer items will help the user to recall certain items that are available in the system. Okay, so maybe this one you can reconstruct a bit, because users. Oh no, okay already. This one, Namkan Farah, I'm talking about your target user have
Yes.
short-term memory problem lah kan?
Yeah.
That's what. Okay. So this one acceptable lah because your target user here is user with a short-term memory. Okay. So if it's not necessary, sometimes it's not necessary, right? Because if depending on your system, so your system, if your system provide a search bar, right? If it provide you a search bar, so you can definitely just locate your menu, locate the item through the search bar, right? So if it's, you can say it's unnecessary, like not necessary, because user can use a search bar to find the item that they want to find, right? So there will be no memory recall actually for this. Yeah, so that's another opinion now. It's not necessary, but depending on your application. So if it's not necessary, the explanation, in my case, in my explanation, not necessary, because my system provide search bar for the user to find item in the menu. Okay, so there will be no memory recall required, right? So, but of course, if the designer want to fulfill this kind of user, like Farah mentioned here, users with short-term memory, they can limit the items to 9 items only. Okay, so that's why there's no wrong or right for this question. It's an opinion depending on how you explain your answer. Okay, and then number two, Noel answer here. So give two example of interfaces or displays where you are expected to remember more than what is reasonable. Okay, so ini example database kan ni Noel. So for
No,
the
the CMD.
yeah, similar to SQL Plus lah kan, you need to remember the command, right? Okay,
Oh yeah.
so yeah, so this is CMD, command prompt in Windows. So this application, it expects user to remember several commands. Okay, so you need to know the command before you can use it, right? So if it's wrong command, like there's no like just like that, like straightforward, like you need to type something to get what you want, right? So this interface is like I'm expecting to know everything when they open this command prompt. Do you have the same idea like me, Noel? Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then the second one, second example, this is an online illustration software. This is the name of the software, Figma.
Yeah.
So then this interface expects the user to remember each of the tools and functionalities in toolbar. First toolbar. So it's just icons, right? It's just
Yeah.
icons. So yeah, so like if you're not familiar with it, like your first time using it, you'll not know what is the purpose of each one of these, right? So it will like give trouble to the user to use this software. And then next, according to this example you have previously, you give two recommendation on how the display should be designed to avoid forcing the user remember more than what is reasonable. Okay, so this recommendation is for the command prompt. So you can actually get help command for the user to refer to several command in case they forgot a certain command. Okay, but this one like this is a solution now to this situation. But of course, if like the user also don't know the help command pun susah juga kan. So that's why depends to the user. Then they don't know this help command exists. They also don't know how to get the commands, right? And then recommendation two, provide quick action function so that the user can simply type in a keyword in the text box and the application will give a list of recommended actions to perform. Okay, so similar thing like what I discussed for this one just now for this one. So you can use a search bar so that you don't have to like remember what are these icon for, or you don't have to click on this icon. You just directly click on the quick action and you search and you look at what other action you can do for this illustration software. Yeah, thank you so much, Sabito, Noel, for your answer. Very good answer. Thank you. And then Calvin. Okay. So this is about mental model. Okay, so mental model is actually a belief, okay, a belief that we have before we do something, right? So for Kelvin answer here, the example is about reading book, right? So reading book usually we read from left to right, but for Japanese jangan sebut tu, manga books, we usually read from right to left, right? So people who are oblivious to this will accidentally spoil themselves by reading the last page of the book first instead of starting on the rightmost page of the manga. Yeah, so if you like first time, this is how a mental model actually works. So it's you every time you hold the book, right? Like any book, every time you hold the book, you don't even check what book it is. You always tend to read it from the front, right from the front. But different with manga, you read it from the back. Nam kan? Read it from the back of the book.
Something like that.
Yeah. So usually like it's a tricky situation. So that's why in HCI you need to really understand your user. Okay, so if they are a manga reader, so it's fine. But let's say you want to like give someone a manga book to read with them without them having the experience reading a Japanese book, so they will definitely read from the front, right? So that is a mental model. So in HCI also it's similar to that. So it refers to the user's current understanding of how something works or how the system works. Okay, so let's say for example, like for your system, you have a button at the when the user use your system, the first interface that they see, normally we will log in, right? We will log in, but some system might not require you to log in. Maybe you are required to like scan a QR code, example. So that's why you need to focus on your user, their needs, their problems, their capabilities. So that's how you can improve your UI design. Okay. So very often, user mental model does not match with what the system actually does. Okay, so similar thing with this situation that Calvin give here. Okay, it's similar when we are using a system. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for your input for today. I appreciate your input and your effort in answering the question. Thank you so much. So I think that's all. You have any question before we dismiss the class?
Thank you, Miss.
Mm, no.
Okay, thank you.
No.
Okay, so you can please redo your business rules, okay, for the
Okay.
database. Okay, so you resubmit again. All right, so you still have until Sunday to submit. So thank you so much once again, and have a nice weekend, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay,
Thanks.
miss you too.